Well, it's teams that are going to make a difference. It's teamwork. And Jesus modeled this teamwork. And I want to take you to Luke chapter 6, verses 12 to 16. And it says this, it says, one of those days, Jesus went out to the mountain to pray. And as he spent the night praying to God, when morning came, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also designated apostles. Simon, whom he named Peter, his brother Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, the son of Apollos, Simon, who is also the Zealot, Judas, son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. So Jesus, here he is right out of the gate, he starts building a team, disciples. Why? Why did Jesus start building a team? Because, Jesus, is the Son of God. He's the one raising people from the dead. He's the one healing. He's the one. Why did Jesus raise a team? Because he was living out Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12. It says this, though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. So Jesus knew that, hey, we need to have a team of people. I'm only here for a little bit. Like Jesus knew, I'm not going to spend my entire, I'm only here for a time. And I want to model for people, for the church, for believers, the best way to reach people and the most sustainable way to build the church, and that is through building a team. And Ecclesiastes says, right, that the one may be overpowered. It's saying that, hey, one is not as strong, that a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Who here has ever crocheted, done any knitting, crocheting? So you know that yarn has 3 strands, right? So I have here some yarn, and I pulled one of the strands off of the yarn, all right? And when you try to lift this bucket with one of the strands, it literally just pulled apart. It would not even lift this thing off of the ground. But when you take the strand and you take it and you twine it and you kind of weave it into a cord of 3, all of a sudden, look at that. The one that just pulled apart, you intertwine it with 2 other strands and you make a cord of 3 strands. Look at the strength that it has. See, we need to understand the power of teamwork. We need to understand the power that there is working within a team. And the second reason that Jesus really modeled teamwork is he understood the principle of pass it on. Turn to your neighbor, say, pass it on. See, not just our faith, right? We're supposed to pass on our faith to friends, families, coworkers, people that we go to school with. We're supposed to pass on our faith, share our faith, but also we need to be passing on leadership to the next generation. Do you know the age of the disciples? That most scholars believe the disciples were anywhere between the ages of 13 and 25. Most scholars put the disciples' ages between 15 and 19. These were teenagers, the disciples. And Jesus, wanted to model of pouring into and raising up the next generation of leaders.